Now that you've been solving linear equations for a while, there's one thing that's really important for you to know, and that is that there's actually three different types of solutions that you can get when solving an equation. The first type of solution that you can get is one solution, and that's what we have seen a lot. One solution is when you have a variable equal to some number, keeping in mind that number could be a whole number, a fraction, or a decimal. So some possible solutions that you could get when you have one solution are x equals -4, y equals 7/16, p equals 5.2, or even w equals 0, because 0 is an integer. Now, another type of solution that we could get is no solution. And what that means is that the two expressions on either side of your equal sign are not equal or will never be equal. And so if you solve it completely, essentially your variable will disappear and you'll be left with two numbers that are not equal to each other. So if we look at our examples, we have 2 equals -2. Well, that's obviously not true. Like positive 2 and -2 are not the same number. Same thing with our second example, 0 equals 5. Those two numbers are not equal, so that's telling me that there's no solution. And then the third type of solution is infinite solutions. And what that means is the two sides of the equation, so the two expressions on either side of the equal sign, are exactly the same. So if you solve it completely, you could end up with a number that's equal to itself. So some examples that we have there are 2 equals 2, 0 equals 0, -10 equals -10. You could also get the variable equal to itself. So x equals x would give us another example of infinite solutions because the two sides are exactly the same. It's even possible for you to notice ahead of time before you solve the equation completely that the two sides are equal. So if you had something like 5x plus 7 equals 5x plus 7, you should notice that those two sides are exactly the same. And so from that point on, you know that it's going to be infinite solutions because basically what that means is I can take any value for x and substitute it in, and the two sides will always be equal. It can be a whole number, it could be a decimal, it could be a fraction. It does not matter. Now, one of the ways that you should know that you're either going to get no solution or infinite solutions is from this statement. If the variable cancels out, then the answer will be either no solution or infinite solution. So as soon as your variable disappears, that's going to tell you that you're going to have one of those two types of solutions. Okay, so let's actually look at an example where this happens. So now as far as solving this equation, it's exactly the same as we solve every other multi-step equation. So I have the steps pulled up on the right side of my screen. Our first step is we're going to go ahead and draw our line through our equal sign. Then we want to look to see if we can distribute. No parentheses, so I can't distribute. But then I can combine like terms on the right side. Remember, I've put a 1 in front of my x if there's no value there. And then I can combine 6x and 1x on the right side. So 6x plus 1x will give me 7x minus 4. Now this is kind of what we talked about before, is because I can already tell that the left side, 7x minus 4, equals 7x minus 4, if I recognize that, I can already go ahead and say infinite solutions because they're exactly the same. Now, if you're not sure and you continue to solve, that's not a problem either because you will soon realize that it's infinite solutions. By moving one of my variables, so I have positive 7x on both sides, so the opposite of that is going to be to subtract 7x. And then whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So 7x minus 7x equals 0. So -4 comes down. And then also on the right-hand side, 7x minus 7x, again, is going to equal 0. And now -4 Drops down on this side as well. And now I really don't have anything else to do. So negative 4 equals negative 4, and that is true. So from this, it tells me that I'm going to get infinite solutions. What this means is that I could take any value for x and substitute it into the left side of the equation, and also substitute the same value into the x's on the right side of the equation, and the two sides will always be equal. And then in our final answer, if we would have gotten negative 4 equals some other number, so negative 4 equals 2 or negative 4 equals 0, that would have told us that it would have been no solution.